It's a beautiful day outside. Sinclair and Nexstar caved and put Jimmy Kimmel back on the air. J.K. Rowling's being a as usual. I have to censor myself in the first 30 seconds.
Usually I do that for you, but you've just done it to yourself.
No, I decided I didn't care, and that I'm going to inflict this pain on editing me in the future. Just an average day on Under the Bridge. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome to Under the Bridge.
I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll, pronouns he, him.
And I am Greg, aka Greg, also pronouns he, him.
And this is our podcast where we talk news of the pop culture variety. Sometimes comic news, sometimes gaming news, pretty much always movie news, and also pretty much always a movie review. So make sure to ring the like button, smash that bell, and share the video around if you're into that sort of thing, because it really helps us out, and we appreciate it. And I kind of took the fact that we didn't record last week to be lazy and not do anything else except make a very short Strangers Chapter 2 review, so we probably lost some traction. So yeah, if you want to do all that stuff, thanks.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, Strangers Chapter 2 was bad, but I'm not going to dwell on it. Go watch the review, please, if you want. It's suffice to say, easily the worst thing I've seen all year so far. Not a particularly hard competition. Just, what a gruesome start to... I guess it wasn't a gruesome start to the month because it was the end of September, but it feels like a gruesome start to the month.
Right.
Anyways, let's get to the grim stuff really early in, because boy...
I say, is this the part where I start with video game news?
Oh, actually, I think I've got something worse, but if you want to start with the game news, go ahead, because I think it's also pretty goddamn grim.
Oh yeah, so a couple bits of game news. So I think this first one technically supposed to be for last week, but I couldn't be part of last week's recording for various reasons. But it was announced on the 1st that Electronic Arts will be bought out by a private equity, specifically a firm called Silver Lake Partners, that, amongst other things, is a private equity involving a significant amount of Saudi Arabian money and a particular investor by the name of Jared Kushner. So, yeah, we're starting off great with the president's son-in-law being one of the investors who will have a private stake in Electronic Arts.
I'm not gonna say it!
You know what? I will say I'm not going to sit here and make a joke, but it is a bit of a, man, this is a small frickin' world, isn't it, type of moment.
It's a thing of, this should be the zaniest thing happening this week. Or any week. It should be. Any week. This should be the craziest thing happening, and it's barely a speed bump, really. But sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, EA is going to be bought out by this private equity company. The deal is valued at $55 billion. According to the Associated Press, EA stockholders will receive $210 back per share. This, I believe, actually will have the record for the biggest private equity deal, because the last one, at least according to this Associated Press article I'm looking at, is bigger than the time that Texas utility TXU bought out somebody for $32 billion. Oh, also, this private equity firm is also a minor investor in Nintendo, for those interested. It's believed that the deal is supposed to get into final effect at the end of next year, like in November of next year, so there is a very short timeline between this announcement and it happening. From what I understand about the nature of this deal, it's one of those deals where the money that goes into this deal happening needs to be made back relatively quickly. Which means one of two things. Either there's going to have to be a lot of games pumped out in an extremely short amount of time that all sell well, which is not going to happen, realistically, in any capacity, even with EA pulling all of its eggs into the Battlefield 6 bucket this year. Or, what's more likely going to happen, is that a lot of trims to the fat are going to have to be made in order for this to go through and not fuck up the company as a whole.
Also, more price gouging and microtransactions. Woo!
Yeah, probably a good bit of that too, because again, it's the whole thing of they've got to make money back very quickly, again, if I understand the nature of this deal correctly. So probably is going to be more of that. There's certain studios that are probably going to feel the heat of it too, like two that get my attention, or that I have a hard time seeing BioWare existing in the long term after this deal is finalized. And on a more personal note for me, I have a good feeling that if there's anything that is going to kill the Need for Speed franchise, it's going to be this news. So, yeah, and goodness knows whatever else is going to come from it. For reference, it's not as big as the time that Microsoft bought out Activision Blizzard, but it is pretty close. For reference, again, this deal is valued at $55 billion. Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard out for $69 billion in 2023.
Nice.
Yeah, I know, right? This now leads to a fun situation where as far as I can tell, the only two publicly traded American game companies are... Patrick is calling me. Give me 1 second. Hello!
Tell him he's live on the podcast.
And that is the reminder that I also forgot to mute my phone.
Nice. And you didn't even tell him he was live on the podcast.
Where was I?
$69 billion,
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so the only two companies are 2K. Yeah, 2K and like Take-Two or whatever. And to a certain degree, Microsoft. And that's literally it. That's pretty bad.
Huh.
But mentioning Microsoft is a perfect segue into the dumb thing they've done this week, where they have decided to break up Game Pass into a 3-level tiered subscription. Now, what's so bad about this? It's like, well, not much, except for two particular things. One, they have taken away the ability for you to use Microsoft points to pay for Game Pass, because that used to be a thing where you could use Microsoft Rewards points to buy months of Game Pass and all that. That is no longer a thing. But the biggest thing, the biggest elephant in the room that has literally killed a lot of people's engagement into Game Pass, is that they have retooled a few things, added a couple benefits to Game Pass Ultimate, and with those two benefits, one of which being a Fortnite thing and the other thing being a cloud gaming thing, I believe, they have decided that that was enough to increase the price of Game Pass by 50% a month. So Game Pass Ultimate is now $30 per month, which priced out a whole bunch of people out of Game Pass Ultimate. It was received almost universally negatively. It was so bad that for a little while, the day it was announced, the service, like, I don't know if it was like on the Xbox itself, because you can subscribe and unsubscribe on your Xbox console or on the website, I don't know which, but the servers literally crashed from so many people coming out to either down tier the subscription or cancel their Xbox Live subscriptions.
Wow.
Yeah, that's next level. That is next level negativity. Usually the opposite happens. Usually, ideally, the opposite will happen, where people will be so into your thing that they overwhelm your server. That's unironically what happened with Silksong the day that it launched. It's that the various stores, the PlayStation Store in particular, couldn't handle the load of people coming to buy it. So Microsoft was like, so what if we do the opposite of that? Which is especially hilarious, because in some of the promotional material that they're using to advertise these changes to Game Pass, they are using marketing images from Silksong. Which is hilarious, because I'm like,
ouch.
Who thought it was a good idea to use marketing material from the game that launched at $20 to advertise it's more money to buy Game Pass for a month than it is to buy Silksong? If you have 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate, you have spent the money on a relatively new title. It's $360 a year for Game Pass Ultimate now, which is the exact same price that the Xbox 360 launched at in 2005.
Huh.
That's crazy. Now, I will say, just for the sake of transparency, I have not canceled Game Pass altogether. I have down-tiered my subscription, specifically because there are a couple games that I do still play regular online multiplayer with, and there is a community in one of those games that I do semi-regularly interact with, and I don't really want to give that up. I will fully admit, I'm probably part of the problem. But even with that, I still was like, alright, nope, same day, just got rid of Game Pass Ultimate. Now I initially put myself at the premium level, which is $15 a month, but I'm probably going to knock myself down to Essential, because, to be honest, there's not really enough there to justify that price increase, and a lot of people feel the same way, which is like everyone is unsubscribing. I don't think this has been implemented yet, but it comes right off the heels of an announcement from a couple weeks beforehand where Xbox was going to increase the price of their consoles for the second time, and it has also come out that the Xbox ROG Ally is launching at, I believe, $1,000.
What?
So yeah, the whole like Xbox handheld thing that they're partnering with ROG with. Let me make sure, but I'm pretty sure they announced that it's launching at $1,000.
Okay. Sure.
Yep, $1,000.
Great.
It is $1,000 for this, for basically a different flavor of a Steam Deck. Now, okay, in fairness, I've always heard that Asus's ROG Ally is pound for pound more powerful than the Steam Deck, but is it worth it for the Xbox side of things? As someone who's been in the Xbox ecosystem for, I want to say, since 2016 at this point, I'm going to say no. Now, granted, I will fully acknowledge some of the reasons for this company doing this are probably realistically outside of their control. If I had to put money on it, I wouldn't put money on Game Pass Ultimate at this point, but if I had to put money somewhere else... I can stop myself there. I'm pretty sure that the Xbox division is losing crazy money right now just because of everything going on, and I have a feeling that these changes are being made to limit how much money is being lost. But even still, there is a certain point where you just kind of lose out on your dedicated fan base with this. And I do think at this point, I've always been optimistic when it comes to people talking about this, but I am pretty convinced at this point that if there is a game console from Xbox next year, or next generation, there's not going to be another console after that, or either that, or they are just going to go straight up the third-party publisher and developer route.
Sega!
Yeah, honestly. I think Xbox as a hardware company is kind of done at this point. So yeah, this is...
The story of a girl?
This genuinely blows.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much of a comment because I don't have Xbox anything, really. But let me tell you...
Yeah, it's frustrating just because it's like, even in this world of, subscriptions for everything and like payment plans and whatnot, and how watching movies, TVs, and games on demand are basically the new form of cable, I did maintain for a very long time that Gamepass Ultimate in particular, was genuinely a very good deal. Even when they increased the price to $20 from $14 or $15 or whatever it was, I was like, alright, this sucks, but it's still you still get a lot for what you pay for. $30? No, that's not worth it. Especially since I think most people don't buy multiple new games a year anymore like they used to 10 years ago. So... yeah, no, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I got more bad news.
Oh boy.
There, and by they, I mean Particle 6 and their, quote, subsidiary talent studio, Sequoia, I think is how you pronounce it. It starts with an X, it's ridiculously pretentious probably, are trying to push an AI actress. Ladies and gentlemen, Tilly Norwood, the aspiring London-based actor who, quote, enjoys shopping and iced coffee, except that's not true. It doesn't enjoy anything! It's a fucking machine!
I don't think it even... Not gonna make the joke that just came to my head.
This is causing so much backlash, and...
Understandably so.
Yeah, the creator's trying to do some defense on it, and trying to run some damage control, but boy, howdy. It's just, what a fucking thing. What an absolutely disgusting thing. There's no reason for this except to avoid paying people / doing all kinds of terrible shit that you'd never get a real-life actress to do, but you don't need to pick that. You fucking serious? I mean, look, theoretically speaking, there might be a market for this in the sense of depicting things, realistically speaking, that you couldn't do with an actual person. But, like...
Such as Taika Waititi playing Adolf Hitler.
But, like...
Wait a minute.
No, you could do that.
Hold on.
No, I mean, shit, like...
No, that actually happened.
The only thing I can think of is if you want a super realistic porno or a snuff film. In which case, what the fuck? No judgment, but what the fuck?
I mean, I would pass judgment on a snuff film.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know why I'm saying no judgment, other than, I don't know, who am I trying not to offend? People? Yeah, what the fuck am I saying? Yeah, judgment. In fact, you know what? If I can continue the judgment, here's a statement I believe it was written for The Free Press by Tyler Cowan. Tilly Norwood doesn't need a hairstylist, has no regrettable posts, and if you wish to see a virgin on screen, this is one of your better chances. That's because she's AI. What the fuck do you care if this AI actress is a fucking... What do you care if any actress is a virgin? You know who cares about that shit? I'll tell you who. Insecure fuckwits who both rarely to never have sex and are distressingly preoccupied with that fact. Because no judgment if that's not your bag, no judgment if you're comfortable not doing that, only judgment if you're one of those fuckers who doesn't and that bothers you.
Right.
Because those are the only people who care about this shit.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great, that.
You also can't call it an actress because there's no actual humanity. There is no emotion. There is a replication. That is it. It is a pale imitation. It's a hollow shell. You tell it to do a thing, you give it a prompt, it just spits out what you want, kind of like ChatGPT. So you know what? ChatGPT, that's what we're calling this.
What was the ChatGPT? We made a...
You had ChatGPT, which for the hologram Stan Lee, which was quite good.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I couldn't remember.
No, that one's burned into my brain, because I will not let that one go.
Oh, good lord.
Look, if there was a time to try and deploy an AI actress, because, new technology is always advancing. I mean, puppets, CGI, and what have you, animatronics. It's certainly not now. It's certainly not now, where AI is being presented as this be-all, end-all solution, but all it's doing is forcing people out of jobs, draining resources for shitty fucking work.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find talent agencies to rep this AI monstrosity. I almost said person, and then I remembered, because that's part of the whole game. That's part of the strat. They want to make you engage with this thing and humanize it, so that way they can give it more rights than certain classes of people have. You want to know why I'll never go for this AI bullshit? Because it's being stanned by these corpo fucking assholes! That's why! You remove them from the equation, maybe I'll have a talk. Until then, no! Fuck off!
Mm-hmm.
Any movie that tries to use this is an automatic, I'm not seeing it, and I strongly encourage you don't either. I'm not the boss of you, you can do whatever you want. Part of bucking authoritarianism, not that it matters in the current climate, is not just doing what you're told. So, look into it, form your own opinions, but if you ask me, which you implicitly are by listening to this, and hey, thanks, I really appreciate it, then...
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. But don't fucking bother. Jesus!
There's a photorealistic CGI Disney joke somewhere in there.
Oh.
Instead of the Lion King, we get the Human King, too.
Loves shopping and iced coffee. It doesn't love anything, it's a fucking code!
Just making jokes referencing Anthony Fantano's AI musician tier list.
That was a good one. It's AI and it sucks, it's going in F tier.
Yeah!
Oh, man.
You know what, actually? Something I found out about that I was very disappointed in, both in myself for not realizing and for how prolific it was, is that I came across a musician that did these very vulgar but still funny 70s R&B like soul type of music, but just the most vulgar shit you can think of like mostly like complaining and stuff like that, and I thought it was pretty good. But then I found out that at bare minimum the singing portion of it is an AI.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, what I want to hold out for is that because I'm listening to the music, I'm like, okay, the singer is an AI, but I'm pretty sure the music was made by an actual human being, because musically, I don't believe a machine made this. But I was still disappointed when I found that out, regardless.
Yeah, that does sound disappointing. Anyway, nothing else I have is that bad. In fact, actually, I've got one bit of good news and one, I don't know what to make of it.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's good news. I don't really know. So, it's been confirmed that Spider-Man Brand New Day has added actor Marvin Jones III to play the role of Tombstone. He also played Tombstone, or provided the voice for Tombstone in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and is also apparently set to reprise the role for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. But, I don't think that means anything multiverse-wise. I just think demographically speaking, because Tombstone's aesthetic, for lack of a better word, is that he's an albino African-American. So,
right.
I feel like the casting choices there, at least among mainstream actors, is probably pretty limited. And on the flip side, again, I'll give Marvel lots of shit when they don't adhere to casting like that. What was the one? Right, of course, it's Doctor Doom, and the people firing back with, oh, how many big-name Romani actors are there? Doesn't fucking matter how many I can name. It's not my job to go look for them. Marvel literally got somebody who never acted before as Miss Marvel, and she's phenomenal. So, like...
Yeah, it's like they exist, though.
Yeah, they exist, and it's the job of the studio to find somebody who fits that bill and can deliver that representation. So,
yeah,
I think that's the reason we're getting Marvin Jones III for Spider-Man Brand New Day. No big multiverse shenanigans. It could be multiverse shenanigans, but if it is multiverse shenanigans, I'm burning Sony to the ground.
You know what's unfortunate? And this is also a thing I really need to rewatch the movie because of how long it's been since I've seen it. I do not remember Tombstone at all in Into the Spider-Verse. I looked up an image of him, and I'm just looking at the image of him from when he shows up in the movie. I'm like, I don't remember you at all. Like, I know you're one of Kingpin's guys, but that's about it.
I mean, that movie did have a lot of villains in it. He's the guy who was mouthing off to Catherine Hahn's Olivia Octavius when she was talking about what she needed for the Collider, and then I think she kicked his ass.
Very good.
I think that's what happened. Boy, never forget, that movie is, I think, maybe cheekily alluding to the time that Doc Ock tried to marry Aunt May because she somehow inherited a nuclear plant.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure they're hinting at that when Octavius goes, oh, no, my friends call me Liv. My enemies call me Doc Ock. And then when she shows up later in the movie, May goes, ah, great, it's Liv.
Very good.
There's some implications there. Anyways, this Spider-Man movie's getting kind of crowded, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit, honestly.
We got Tombstone, we got Hulk, we got Punisher, we got Scorpion. There's rumors that Yelena Belova's gonna show up in this. There's honestly a bunch of rumors of a bunch of lower tier villains like Tarantula showing up, but who knows in that instance? I mean, even when you discount the rumors, that's a lot of characters, and it's especially weird when we don't get me wrong, Tombstone's cool, and Scorpion's cool. I don't know that they're big movie boss threats, you know? You can base multiple action set pieces around fighting them. I just don't know that they're driving force of a movie's conflict. They're not the mastermind type, you know? I guess Tombstone could.
I mean, God, I wish... If it wasn't for how crowded this movie is, if you said that Tombstone was going to be one of the bad guys and that was the only one you heard, I'd be like, oh, so you're going to pull, like, a Riddler from the Batman. Or how, while the Riddler is a more major villain, I think that's the first time you've ever seen Riddler be, like, a genuine main threat all the way through. So...
Technically, there was Batman Forever, although he was splitting it with Two-Face.
Right.
God, that was Jim Carrey, too. Huh.
Oh, that's right, it was.
Yeah. Wow, that feels like forever ago. Crazy.
Completely opposite vibes, too.
You're not wrong. So I got one more bit of news. I don't know how to take this one. There was an MCU movie slated to release on July 23rd, 2027. We didn't know what it was, but it was there. It's not there anymore.
Blade is cancelled.
Well, the release slot is still there, but instead of an MCU movie, we're now getting the Simpsons movie too.
Oh, God. Oh. Oh, no. I mean, I don't hate the Simpsons movie, but...
I'm the mascot of an evil corporation!
Boy, that joke has not aged well
That
at
joke
all.
has aged phenomenally! That joke has aged like the finest brick of cheese you could ever ask for. That is some fine cheddar.
Right.
For a mouse. But...
I don't know how to respond. I don't know how to respond to any of this right now.
Oh, me neither, man. It's crazy. It's all nuts. The important part is, I guess...
Are they cashews?
I don't like cashews.
I mean, I don't either. That's just the first thing that came to mind.
I'll take peanuts. I'll take walnuts.
I don't like almonds.
I'm also not a fan of almonds. No, and I don't like them in chocolate either.
No.
Using almond flakes in cooking is a different matter, though.
That's fair. I'll give a pass on that.
You can use them for a pretty good curry sauce. Anyways, if I have this right, I think that means in the next 2 years, we're only getting 3 Marvel movies, which would be Spider-Man Brand New Day in July next year, Doomsday in December, and then a whole year will pass, and then Secret Wars.
Oh, wow. Are going to be like Marvel shows or something else in between all of that?
Probably, because Vision Quest is set to come out in 2026. I think that might be it?
Okay.
Oh. Oh, they're gonna reboot. This is a reboot.
Of Iron Fist.
Of just everything, probably. Because, like, if they're scaling back that much...
Do you think that's what they're gonna go for? Is just a full, like, reset of the universe?
I don't know about a full reset, but that would be the only real reason to cut back that much on stuff.
They're gonna pull an Ultimate Universe.
Ooh.
And then something's gonna happen where I'm just like, no, but it's dead. And it's like, well, actually, no, it's back! It's back! And I get mad again and slam my desk, and, like, the silverware I have goes everywhere again.
Oh. I don't know how I feel about this. Bad, I guess, but...
Feels bad, man.
It does. It do.
That's rough, buddy.
We better still get that Shang-Chi sequel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. And Blade. Unironically, it would be cool if we still got Blade. Blade is probably not going to happen at this point, but it would be cool if we got Blade, for God's sake.
I give Blade a better shot than Armor Wars, which I'm pretty sure has been canceled, and they're just not telling us, because if they told us, we'd all get mad and demand that they make it anyway, and then they'd be stuck making it. So I'm pretty sure all they're doing is just not telling us they've canceled it.
Right.
Which, what a waste of Rhodey, then. What was the point of Secret Invasion? I'll tell you what the point of Secret Invasion was. There was no point of Secret Invasion. None whatsoever.
Except for Sam Jackson get a fat paycheck.
I mean, it did cost like 200 mil or something like that, so it's probably.
Jesus. Damn. Okay.
Probably. I mean, I think that was still in his contract. Wait, did his contract include shows? I don't know if his contract included shows. They might have had to negotiate that separately. Huh. Anyways, I watched Marvel Zombies. I'm not going to go into it, but,
I don't know if that's good or bad.
You know, maybe I'll go into it a little bit. We'll see how long this is going. Let's go to trailer time.
Let's do trailer time.
It's trailer time again. We've got movie previews to watch. It's trailer time again. So there's two trailers that I thought were of note here. One of them is The Bride, starring Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks goddamn weird.
This looks very weird. It's especially weird this is coming out in March next year.
Well, they can't all come out in October.
I know, but this would literally be like a perfect time for it.
Unless it's, I mean, I guess it's kind of a horror movie, but it doesn't seem all that scary. I mean, it's horror adjacent, certainly. The elements are there.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know.
Yeah, this looks cool. It is definitely very zany, to say the absolute least. It's got a pretty stacked cast. I'm not familiar with Jessie Buckley, but it does have Christian Bale, Peter Sarsgaard, and Jake Gyllenhaal and Penelope Cruz in it.
And Annette Bening, Captain Marvel herself. Oh, I'm sorry. Her name was Marvel. I don't think she was a captain in that one. I think she was just Marvel.
Right. Man, I still remember that too, where during that whole scene she's like, my name is Marvel. You're just like, like.
Yeah, that did upset me at first, and then I got over it because, realistically speaking, the only important thing Captain Marvel ever really did was die, so. And I mean.
And that role was accomplished in the MCU.
Mission accomplished, who really cares?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I'm sure all 3 Marvel fans are real bent up about it. But as Ultron would say, I've moved beyond your mission.
Good God.
Oh God, Jessie Buckley was in Doolittle.
Oh, was she?
Oh, she was the queen.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's really funny.
Okay.
No, I'm looking forward to this. I think when I was hearing comments and reviews and not reviews, but, you know, discussion around the trailer before I saw it, they built it up a little in my head, so I was a little bit let down by my own expectations, but that's not fair. I'm looking forward to this.
Right, okay.
And then we also got a new trailer for Zootopia 2. Certainly no social commentary going on here.
No, not in the slightest. What would ever make you think that?
Not even a smidge.
Not even the smallest morsel.
Completely apolitical art form. 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm having a real hard time getting off that subject.
I see. I don't really. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really. Other than the commentary, I don't really have much to say about this.
I really put us in a box with this one, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's good to have Mr. Big back.
Oh yeah. It's good to see him again.
I like this dynamic with Judy and Nick, where they've clearly got teamwork issues that they're not willing to embrace, and they're just like, oh, we're fine, it's everybody else who has a problem.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Apparently, apropos of nothing from that, apparently in other regions, this movie is known as either Zootropolis or Zoomania 2.
Yeah, it's so weird because Disney Plus will still call it Zootropolis, or at least the title card for it, on like the menu, will say Zootropolis. It's so bizarre to me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, either. Oh, trademark issues, apparently.
Okay, as I say, I would assume, depending on where it is, it's either going to be a licensing issue or maybe a language issue.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh.
Hmm.
What is Zootopia elsewhere, I wonder?
Right.
I don't like that I typed Zootopia. Well, okay, you know what? Actually, I take it back. I do like this. When I type Zootopia into Wikipedia, and it starts suggesting results, right? The very bottom is something called I Will Survive comic, and the description says Zootopia fan comic about abortion.
Okay. I was gonna say, is this gonna be like the time how I looked up Splatoon once to genuinely find out more about the games, and what I was immediately presented with was pornography?
I mean, that's... Yeah, I guess it's similar.
No. Yeah, as I say, it's like, no, don't say that was anticipated, because it wasn't.
I think you should have anticipated a little bit.
No, I literally just looked up the name of the franchise. I just typed into Google Splatoon, nothing else. And I'm just sitting here like, oh, come on, man. Actually, don't do that, because that's not what I'm here for. But,
filthy degenerates.
Yeah. That was honestly a thing that made me go, I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I want to play these games anymore.
Part of me hopes we never hit the point where I have to worry about monetizing, because we'd probably get immediately demonetized with half the shit that we get up to in this.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't. I think if we do get monetization, it's from outside ads. There's no way that people actually listen to our show and go, huh, these seem like a couple upstanding, intelligent gentlemen who can sell our products for us.
Yeah, we need to get direct sponsors, I think. Because
yeah, 100%.
They'd look at the content and they'd be like, we don't want our ads attached to Zootopia abortion fan comic.
Oh, good God. It's just halfway through. By the way, this episode of Under the Bridge is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Oh, good God.
I do like the bit with the beaver and the walrus in the marsh. I think it was a walrus, where they're just calling each other, they're just going, hey, bub, back and forth.
Okay, you know what? One part that did actually get a good chuckle out of me was during the bit where the hippos go underwater and go, we're in pursuit, and they just run by a bunch of people who are just eating, and they all, like, get pushed away.
Because of water displacement?
Yeah, I was just like, alright, you know what? That's actually pretty good.
That was pretty funny.
That's pretty funny. That was pretty funny and very scientific, so that gets a pass.
Yeah, this ought to be a fun Thanksgiving now that I can't get that one fan comic concept out of my head.
Right.
Oh, man. Let's go to box office, I guess.
Let's do the box office.
We did not see the highest grossing movie domestically this weekend. The highest grossing movie domestically this weekend was, of course, whatever thing Taylor Swift has going on.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's another thing like she did, I think it was last year or the year before, where they recorded her tours and like turned it into a movie, or if it's something else.
No, I think this is a thing accompanying the release of her latest album.
Yeah.
At least I think that's what it is. Because the album that it's titled after just released 3 days ago at the time of recording.
Okay. I would say, what is the box office for that?
Oh, I didn't look. I don't care.
Or do you not care? Oh, well, now I'm curious, so I'm going to do that for you.
Yeah, alright.
$34 million over the weekend.
Criminy. Good for her, I guess.
Yeah.
Or sorry that happened.
There's a joke somewhere in here about being called a sad version by her.
Look, I've got no frame of reference for if 34 million is a good thing or a bad thing for billionaire Taylor Swift, alright?
Yeah. I think the one thing I've been seeing about this that I've been hearing is that people think is like, alright, cool, I think she's just like full blown like, you know what? I do enjoy my life as it is, and I'm going to be proud of it. I'm like, you know what? Good for you. You've worked hard to get here. So yeah, flaunt that shit.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Just don't let it consume everything that you are, I suppose. Or do. I don't know. I'm not your mom.
Or your therapist.
Or your therapist.
No, so the movie we saw, The Smashing Machine, that took third place, and it's a pretty distant third, because we're looking at a $6 million domestic weekend and total. As far as I can tell, no worldwide release information yet. Guess the budget.
Oh god, it's The Rock, so something ridiculous. But it's also an A24 movie.
You might be pleasantly surprised.
50 million?
Yeah, you're on it! Ding, ding, ding! We have a winner!
Oh, really? Because it's like, okay, on one hand, it's The Rock, and The Rock is expensive, but on the other hand, it is an A24 film, and for the most part, A24 doesn't do horrifically big budget movies.
No,
that's still not good, though. That's still pretty bad, because ideally this movie would need to make $100 million to actually make a profit. And if it's starting at 6, that's pretty... Is this actually, unironically, the worst opening weekend in The Rock's career, then?
I'm pretty sure yes.
That's something.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
He's taken it pretty well, though, because he has said, well, you can't really control box office results. So, you know what?
Fair.
Good for him. Good for him not falling apart at this. I still hate his fucking guts, but... Not the least of which because this is probably the best performance I've ever seen out of him. In fact, what am I saying? No, you know what? It is better than Maui. So yeah, this is the best performance The Rock has ever done, and I'm fucking mad at him about it. Especially because it's still just an okay movie.
Yeah, I was just say it's like best performance he's ever done. Does it bother you?
it was really funny. I had that realization on my way out of the theater, and Greg asks, "Does that bother you?" And I just take a sip of Pepsi and don't answer.
Just takes a contemplative swig of Pepsi on his way out. It's just like, what the hell?
Because I don't know, a little bit, yeah. Look, man, he's literally been doing this for 2.5 decades at this point. Movie acting specifically. And you're telling me every single performance... I've done this, Ramp, but you're gonna hear it again the whole time. The entire time, he could have been delivering a nuanced, multifaceted performance, and instead he was just The Rock. For 20 fucking years!
And then the one time that he decides to not be The Rock, it's actually in something that is on paper good, but because of other factors, loses points as the movie goes on.
Well, I mean...
I would say.
The other factors include some decisions made in the movie itself. Like, it's not just because this is a movie starring The Rock and I'm mad at him that I put it in This Is Decent. It's also a very, I think, uneven, kind of unfocused film.
Definitely, yeah. I would say... The thing about this movie, for the uninitiated, is that this is a biographical sports drama film about the life of... Oh god, why am I blanking on this dude's name?
Mark Kerr.
Yes, that one. Mark Kerr. Apparently this...
And his friend Sharpie.
Okay. Apparently this takes quite a bit from a 2002 documentary about Mark Kerr as well. Now... Neither of us have seen this documentary, at least I'm pretty sure. Like,
nope.
This is the moment where Cody surprises me and goes like, oh yeah, I do watch a lot of wrestling and martial arts documentaries in my spare time.
It was a double feature with Magic Mike XXL.
Right. But yeah, apparently a lot of what happens in this is pulled pretty heavily from that original 2002 documentary film. But yeah, it's a retelling of that documentary where Dwayne Johnson plays Mark Kerr in the relatively early, I want to say, part of his career. The movie itself takes place between 1997 and 2000.
Primarily in 2000.
And most of the movie takes place in 2000. And it's interesting keeping that in mind with how the movie's shot, because, so, like, kind of get the one, I personally think, really good and neat thing out of this movie, about this movie out. The way this movie is shot and edited is actually pretty neat, unironically. Because it's not I don't know the actual technical term for it, but you know those documentaries, like how Spinal Tap is, but actually serious, where there's always like a camera crew like following the subjects around, documenting what's going on.
Oh, no. There's no camera crew, but a lot of the times they evoke the feeling of one. There is one particular scene very early in the movie, after, I think his first actual loss in a match, And
Yeah.
it was not a particularly close fight either. And it follows him
For a long time.
on his way back to his, I don't know, dressing room, locker room, whatever you want to call it, on the way back to, like, his base of operations. And just the angle and how it holds on him, because it's mostly him from behind for a good chunk of it, and you just feel the rage building up. Not just the rage, but also the disappointment, the uncertainty, everything. You feel like this is a guy who's gonna snap at any fucking moment. And it is a very uncomfortable shot. It's very well done, because the way it tracks and holds is just, it's good. It's some good cinematography.
But yeah, and even without that, there are a lot of moments in the movie where the way it's shot does feel like, again, still with that documentary feel, like you get a lot of moments where, like, the camera is shaky, because if it's someone holding a camera, you get moments where the camera is literally behind him in a car or at a distance watching him approaching. The kind of things that would be done, again, if it's like a following someone style of documentary, even though it isn't. The movie is not one of those at all. It's a very interesting filming method, and I honestly thought it was the highlight of the movie because it really does drive home the seriousness of a lot of the drama and conflict in this movie. Because it is the thing of, while yes, it's acting, it feels a lot more personal with that kind of shooting style. And a lot more actually in the moment. And even the way that it's edited too, color-wise. Like, maybe this is just me, but it felt like it had like a 2000 era film grain on it the entire way through. Or at least the very early part is when he gets his first professional fight in Brazil.
Yeah, I think part of why this ends up in This Is Decent for me is that the movie feels very front-loaded in terms of a lot of its technique and a lot of its wow comes at the very start. The very beginning of the movie where he's doing an interview, but instead of watching him in the interview, you're watching quote footage of his previous fights, because it's still Dwayne Johnson pretending to be Mark Kerr doing the fights, but you watch him beating the shit out of people all while he's delivering a soft-spoken monologue on the nature of what doing this MMA fighting means to him and his motivation and what winning means for him, and the juxtaposition of that was really good. And then we get that long tracking shot, and nothing in the movie is as good as either of these things, and I feel like these both happen in the first, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
I guess we should probably say there's going to be spoilers throughout this, because it's kind of hard to talk about a biographical drama and not get into spoilers.
Yeah, there's no build-up to major things, because it's just as things go in the story of this person. Do we just want to jump straight to spoiler section, if anything, or do you have something else? Because
I don't really have much. I guess the question is, should you watch it? And I would say, for the performances of Dwayne Johnson, which I can't believe I'm fucking saying that, and Emily Blunt specifically, yes, this is worth checking out.
yes, and as much as it pains him to admit that.
I can't fucking believe it. Because it's a good fucking performance. It's nothing transcendent. Like, I'm not.
No. I know. That's why I think it's
saying
funny.
The Rock is the greatest actor of our generation because he's fucking not. But the fact that this is an actual human performance and not just his usual blathering. Oh, look at me, I'm invincible, but I'm pretending that I'm a multi-layered character. Isn't this interesting? No, it's fucking not. But. All right.
I think this is the first movie where we actually see The Rock cry in any role he's ever done, which I believe was in the trailer.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we technically don't actually see him cry. We see him hunched over crying, but we do not actually see tears on his face.
Fair enough, I guess.
Which is a Weenie Hut Jr. distinction, but I feel like it's an important one when so much of The Rock's acting career is based around his own ego, you know?
Right.
Anyways, I guess if you don't want to get spoiled any further on the Smashing Machine, make sure to click away in 3, 2, 1.
Smashing.
Marianne Kippers! I miss Tim Curry. I mean, he's not dead, but, he's not really acting anymore, so...
Right.
At least I don't think he is. Hold on a second. God, he was born in 46.
Was he now?
Holy
shit.
Fucking shit. Welcome to the spoiler section of the Smashing Machine.
Sponsored by the Wild Thornberries.
Looking up Tim Curry's. Oh, he had a cameo in a movie called Stream that came out last year. Oh, it's a slasher. Huh.
Oh, okay.
Alright. Jeffrey Combs is in it? Oh, I'm gonna have to check this out. What the fuck? Anyways, the Smashing Machine.
The Smashing Machine.
Part of me is interested in... Because this movie doesn't start where I would have expected it to, and doesn't end where I would have expected it to.
Yeah.
Because by the time we get to him, when the movie opens up, he's already an established fighter. He's not the best, but he's already racked up quite a few wins. He's already participating in Pride over in Japan. He's apparently never really lost.
Yeah, the movie starts with him at his first recognized professional MMA event.
Was that his first?
So, apparently,
huh.
I believe in the movie it's mentioned that fight in Brazil was his first professional fight.
Oh, well, okay, right, the one in Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah, where we have the monologue at the beginning.
Okay, so maybe part of the problem is I'm not really tracking this guy's timeline very well. But
the movie ignores 2 of the 3 years that this movie supposedly takes place in, so...
Yeah, it feels like it, because it also feels like there's no... don't get me wrong, I respect not doing the whole showing his childhood and using that to provide motivation to why he is the way he is, or like the very start of his career and all the trials and tribulations therein, but I feel like missing that means we're also missing some potential context.
Right.
In the same vein, but a little more positively, I do like how the movie keeps building to the idea of Kerr fighting his friend Coleman, because you've got commentators constantly remarking on the possibility, you've got interviewers asking both of them repeatedly, so what's gonna happen if it comes to that? And then it just doesn't fucking happen. Kerr gets knocked out in the semifinals, and then Coleman goes on to pretty easily win the whole thing. That, aside from, obviously it's historically accurate, I'd assume. Historically, Jesus. I'd assume it's biographically accurate, but it's also an interesting swerve for a movie.
Mm.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
They really gloss over the whole drug addiction thing, though.
No, they kind of do. They go through that pretty rapidly, which was interesting. From what very little I know about Mark Kerr and his life, that was like a decent portion of his life before we get to the 2000s and all, was that he had a pretty substantial opioid addiction.
Dawn, would you like some Advil? They're handing them out like candy.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's a whole part where the way they're framing this feels like it's a pretty substantial part that they're just kind of glossing through, which especially hits like a truck when we get to a moment where, even though we don't see it on screen, we see Dawn hysterically calling Mark Coleman about it, is that Kerr overdoses at one point and goes unconscious, and he's rushed to a hospital where Coleman basically tells Kerr, it's like, hey man, you can't do this anymore. Which leads to Kerr breaking down and admitting himself into a rehab center for an extended period of time, which ultimately means that he loses his spot, or relinquishes his spot, in the Pride 1999 fighting tournament. And that's one of those things where I'm like, all of this seems like a very big deal, and the movie doesn't feel like it spends a lot of time with it, or at least not the time that it deserves.
Yeah. It's really weird because there's that point after he gets out of rehab where he's training with Baz Rutten, playing himself, but he's himself at his current age playing himself 20 years ago, which is an interesting take.
I don't know, maybe he looks and it's like, you don't look that different from 20 years ago, so this'll work.
I feel like he probably did, but I don't know. But he ends up suffering some kind of injury, and Mark Kerr still has some old pain medication of some kind, and he gives it to the guy, and he just goes, this is old, I'm not using it. And the guy just goes, I don't give a shit. But nothing ever comes of that. There's no consequences of him giving this medication to his friend/trainer. It's never brought up again. Nobody ever leverages that against him. It's just kind of weird that scene is in the movie. I guess maybe it's to demonstrate that he's already kicked the habit successfully, because he then throws it in the trash as soon as he's done giving it to his friend. But it's still a case of, this feels like in a different movie, this would have come back in some kind of meaningful way.
The latter of that is where my brain went, was that was just supposed to be something where it shows that how he's beaten the habit. Because it is the whole thing, like he's searching around, and it's pretty clear real quickly he's looking for this liquid painkiller. And the whole time, at least for me, I was thinking, it's like, all right, this is going to be the thing where it's like, he gets back into the habit and all that. But, with the whole thing of him assuring Bass about it and then immediately throwing it away, I'm just like, all right, so this is I have grown past this moment of everything.
But there's not enough on it where it really feels like a significant moment, Yeah.
It's like, that's what they're going for. I'm like, okay, well, I kind of got it, but you could have made that you could have definitely given that more weight, for sure.
Yeah. Also props, because Kerr and Dawn's relationship is one of the worst relationships I've seen recently, and it's completely intentional from what I can tell. So, good work.
You know what's bad about that is that horrifically toxic relationship is, in my opinion, the best acting in this movie.
It feels
from both of them
horrifically uncomfortably real. And don't get me wrong,
yeah,
neither of them are innocent in this one.
Oh no, God no.
I feel like Dawn is worse for Mark than Mark is for Dawn.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, especially during their final fight that they had. That was definitely the moment where, all right, Mark, you're still kind of a piece of shit, but you do have a point.
Yeah.
It's the whole, he's out of line, but he's right.
I think the exact point where it clicked for me of, okay, you're both not great, but you're worse, is when Dawn's out with her friends, complaining that now that he's gotten sober, he's both very annoying and doesn't need her to take care of him anymore, which is what she liked about the whole thing. It's like, oh, so you don't actually give a fuck that he's better. So...
And he calls her out on it, too, because she's like, tell me about your wrestling and all that. She's like, you don't care about my wrestling. You don't give a shit about it. I know you don't give a shit about it. So I don't know why you're trying to convince me that you do. Even though it pays for, your clothes and this house and everything. With that, he also calls out how it's like, yeah, I'm trying to focus on this while, you're coming in at like 4 a.m. from wild parties doing God knows what. Yeah, just watching those two interact is both the best and the worst parts of the movie. These two should not have been together for as long as they were, straight up.
No, absolutely not. It is a uncomfortable, unpleasant display of watching their relationship deteriorate. But it also feels real. Yeah. And that's what makes it really good and really bad. And not to purely shit talk Dawn, he's very passive-aggressive, and especially once he gets out of rehab, a little bit holier than thou over the course of the relationship.
Yeah. I think what kind of did it for me in that aspect, as far as the whole thing between the two of them, is like, first off, we get kind of a vibe of it with Mark Kerr, commenting on the protein shake not being made the right way. Which, I get it being an athlete. I mean, I'm not an athlete, but being an athlete and being very competitive is like, yeah, I know that's the whole mythos of competitive mindset, whatever. But in particular, what it was that really gave me a clue was the whole thing with the cat at the beginning. By the way, we never see that cat again for the rest of the movie.
No, you're right.
But the whole thing when Dawn is playing with their pet cat, and Mark Kerr's trying to move the cat, and the cat just immediately starts hissing at him.
I don't know. I'm kind of with him on that. If they previously discussed the cat shouldn't be on the couch because the cat has destroyed the couch before, then that cat should not be on that couch.
No, I'm not discounting that. I agree with him on principle. It's just like, it gives... That whole thing kind of establishes the vibe of these two's relationship. I'm just like, oh, okay, alright, yeah, this is how this is gonna go.
Yeah, where he's not airing his grievances in the best way because it does come off very passive-aggressive. However, there's also a pattern of him trying to set boundaries and her repeatedly ignoring them, so...
Yeah, the big one, honestly, this was one that did genuinely piss me off, was right after he got out of rehab, and him going, it kind of sucks that you're taking, like, these pills, like, right next to me. I'm like, no, that is fair. Yeah, it's probably a little annoying, but that is genuinely a fair complaint to make, especially if you just came out of rehab for being addicted to drugs. The other person probably should be at least a little bit more aware of that.
At the very least, you shouldn't be popping 4 Advil because you feel like you're gonna get a headache. Just wait for him to clear the room.
Yeah, honestly.
Don't get me wrong, it's a little bit sanctimonious, but also, again, just get out of rehab. It's the thing. If you want to be supportive, then be supportive.
Be supportive. Be supportive.
We'll never do that again.
No. And once again, people are like, yeah, these are a couple intelligent fellows. Let's have them sell our shit.
Today's video is sponsored by Helix. God, I wish. And it's a shame because I feel like those two really anchor the movie. I mean, Ryan Bader's pretty alright as Mark Coleman, who's the closest thing to a next main character in this movie, even though arguably in any other movie he'd be the protagonist, because he's the one who actually rises to victory at the end. So in a way, it kind of feels like we're watching a movie about Mark Kerr watching his best friend rise to the top. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I can't remember a single other person in that. Like that one, what was he Russian? The guy what kicked Mark Kerr's ass at the start?
Yeah, he was Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. Oh, I'm sorry. Shit. I feel like that's a really bad mix-up in the current climate, so I apologize. I was not paying attention.
That's fair. I mean, to be honest, we were both sitting there watching a movie about MMA. The fact that we even paid attention was a miracle.
I'm still not sure how the structure of this fight works, because after the first round they were talking about people going on to finals, but then there's another round and then there's the finals. Is it a finals grand finals kind of thing?
I think so. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a thing of each opponent has a 1v1 fight during the preliminaries, and then the winning 8 are the ones who get moved on to the air quotes finals. And then from there, there's a semifinal where it's like a knock. If I know nothing about this, I'm just guessing because I've never watched Pride or anything like that before. I assume it's like a knockout structure where each guy has their 1v1 fight, and the winner of one match goes and fights the winner of the next match until we get to the final 2 who do the grand final match. And then whoever wins that wins the $200K. Which, by the way, we both felt a sense of, hoo boy. They keep on going on about how the winner of this fight will win a life-changing $200,000. And I'm like, initially I'm like, I mean, $200K is a lot, but it's not that much. I'm like, wait, this is in 2000. This is before 9/11.
Yep. Nowadays, it's like 200,000. That might cover some of the injuries you're probably going to sustain from this fight.
Yeah, for reference, the general average wage for a normal person over an average time working comes out to just around like $1 million, all said and told. So the whole thing of getting $1 million, it's just like, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, $1 million, especially now, it's a lot of money, but in the grand scheme, it's really not that much.
It's not $1 million 20 years ago, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's nothing funny to say about that.
No, not at all.
Also, the ending's a little weird in how it suddenly cuts to the real Mark Kerr, and it then goes on about how apparently, like, 10 days after his loss, he married Dawn, and then they got divorced. And it's just like, oh, you didn't need to tell me that. I know it's true, but you didn't have to tell me. I didn't need to hear that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. What the fuck are you talking about? He got back with her after she fucking tried to shoot herself, negotiate out of a breakup.
Yeah, it's not explicitly said, but it's heavily implied before the Pride final fight that it's like, no, he Baker acted her.
No, fuck that. I need to hear that.
Yeah, for real.
And then it ends on a weirdly, oh yeah, he and Coleman changed the game. Now UFC fighters' names are known. Are they? I couldn't name anybody. The only reason I know these two is because of the fucking movie I just saw.
I mean, in fairness, I feel like there's only one person in my life who's knowledgeable about boxing and wrestling and MMA, and he could probably, I don't know if he's seen this movie, but I'm pretty sure if there's anyone who knows, like, these guys in their career and how influential he is, that would be him. But it's the thing of, yeah, that's kind of a bold claim to make, because outside of the very dedicated fan base for this sport, these guys are not exactly, like, showing up on Wheaties boxes for the most part.
I can name more Kaiju Big Battle members than I can actual wrestlers, and the only reason I know half of the wrestlers that I know is because they're also actors.
Right, yeah.
Aside from Cena, Johnson, and Batista, I've got, let's see, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan.
Wasn't Jason Momoa a fighter?
Was he? I'm not counting him because I don't know. Is The Undertaker different from Stone Cold Steve Austin? They're different people, right?
I do not know.
Well, we'll call that 3.5. Also Rey Mysterio. That's it. That's all I know. That's all I got.
Okay.
And I still know more of them than I do UFC fighters.
Okay, as far as I can tell, Jason Momoa was not a professional fighter in any capacity.
And hell, I'm pretty sure half the wrestlers I just named there are dead and or 1 foot in the grave. Who's that one guy that killed his fucking family?
Somehow that doesn't narrow it down.
I guess I can't count him. I don't remember his name. Was it Chris Benoit? Yeah, it was Chris Benoit. That was a fucking shame what happened.
Right.
Anyways, that's not important here. Yeah, overall, I guess the theme of the movie is about Mark Kerr's journey to being okay with losing, which is a fine journey. It just feels like we took a lot of detours that weren't necessary to get us there.
Right.
And it also feels like you didn't really set up that was the conflict you were going for, so much as you just kind of dropped us into the movie right before the classic "the all is lost" moment, and then the rest of the movie is picking up the pieces up to the climax and denouement, but it feels like we're missing the first half.
Right.
Which is an interesting strat, I just don't know how well it panned out.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. It did not play out.
Was that fighting or was that basketball in that movie?
Ice skating.
It was ice skating? Huh. Oh, was that Blades of Glory?
I think it was Blades of Glory.
I don't think it was Blades of
Hold
Glory.
on.
Hold on a second. Yeah, pardon us. We're Googling. No, it's from Dodgeball. Okay.
No, it's from Dodgeball. We were both wrong on all accounts.
We were both wrong. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a punch, I guess. I don't know. You got anything else?
Not really.
Alright, I think that about wraps us up then. In which case, opinion is unchanged. It's still, this is decent tier for me. It's mostly just Johnson and Blunt are why I would say that this is worth watching.
Right.
But in any case, thanks so much for listening, everybody. You know what to do. You know when to do it. Next week, we finally have to answer the question, does our desire to hear Nine Inch Nails' Tron Ares soundtrack outweigh our collective disdain for Jared Leto?
Yes. Well, no. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I can't answer that yet.
I still might.
I kind of want to.
I still might, but I don't fucking understand. I don't understand how Jared Leto keeps getting work. He's not a good actor. He's not a box office draw. Generally speaking, everybody reacts to his presence with derision and scoffs, but fuck it, I guess. Put him in a movie anyway. Dr. Michael Morbius, at your service.
Have sex. Jesus Christ.
We could go see Roofman, I guess.
Oh, true.
But I feel like Tron Ares is more on brand for us.
Right.
Especially since we can actually, now that Disney backpedaled, we can actually do that and not feel, well, I mean, I'll still feel guilty because Disney commits all kinds of atrocities, but
right, yeah,
on the regular. But that's not important. You might be wondering, why did we not go see Good Boy? And that's because I didn't have time, because all the show times were at 10:30 at fucking night.
Yeah, all the show times were atrocious.
In fact, I might be going to see it an hour after we finish up here. Review to follow, maybe? Who knows? Guess we'll find out. But regardless of whether or not I end up reviewing Good Boy, this has been Under the Bridge with Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And with Greg, aka Greg.
And we'll catch you all next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye!